Hey guys, this is number 3 from the equations and circles of parabolas homework. I had a question on this one, so I thought while I'm going through and solving it that I would just post it for everybody as an extra resource. So this is what number 3 says, and the instructions say that we're supposed to write the focal form of the equation and then find the vertex and directrix. So focal form is going to be that form that looks kind of like this. It's going to be like x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k, and this could potentially be negative if this is going to be a downward facing or downward opening parabola. We know that it's going to be in this form, or a form that looks similar to this, versus like the y minus k on this side because we have an x squared. So that's kind of our first step. From there, what we want to do is we want to just move everything that doesn't have an x onto the right-hand side. So I still have the x squared plus 12x here. Sorry, we had an equal 0 here in the beginning. What we're going to do is we're going to subtract a 3y and we're going to subtract a 6 from both sides. Okay. We're going to leave a space here because we're going to complete the square in a second. But on the right-hand side, we're going to have the minus 3y minus 6. So that's kind of what's happening with these two guys. We need to move them over to the right-hand side so that all the kind of the y stuff is over here. All right. From here, we need to complete the square. So we're going to figure out what number goes here. And to do that, we need to take this middle, the coefficient of the middle term, the b here, divided by 2, and then square it. So this is going to be 12 divided by 2, which gives you a 6, and then you square that. So 6 squared is going to give you 36. But we have to do that on both sides of the equation. So plus 36 over here, plus 36 here over here. What that will allow us to do now is take this and rewrite it as a binomial squared. So this is going to be x plus 6 squared. And just remember how we get this number here. When we have a perfect squares trinomial like this, to get this number, it's half of the b. So if I take this and half it, I get 6. If I square that, I get this guy. That's kind of the relationship here in these perfect squares trinomials. Now on the other side, we're going to have to, we can combine these like terms actually right here. So we're going to have negative 3y, and then we're going to have a plus. We're going to have a plus 30 right here when the negative 6 combines with the 36 there. The last thing we need to do is just factor it because we want to get the kind of like a y with some other number inside of parentheses. So we need to factor out that negative 3 right here. So the left-hand side is going to look very similar. We're not going to do anything different there. On the right-hand side, when we factor out that negative 3, what we're going to have left over is a y minus 10. So just to double check, negative 3 times y is negative 3y. Negative 3 times negative 10 is the positive 30 that we wanted there. So looks like we're all good to go on putting it in the right form. And again, we're calling this focal form. A lot of places will call it standard form, but we talked about the idea that there is also a standard form for polynomial functions, and so that can get a little bit confusing. The last thing we have to do here is just find the vertex and the directrix, or excuse me, the vertex and the direction. Okay. The vertex is going to be negative 6 and then positive 10. We want kind of the opposite of what's in here. And then the direction, because this guy's negative, it's going to go in the negative direction. We also know that this is kind of the vertical parabola because the x is getting squared. So the x being squared tells us it's either up or down, and then the fact that there's a negative out here tells us it's actually going to go down. Okay. So that's number 3 for you. I hope that helps, or at least maybe gets you a little bit closer to where you need to be, or if you had questions on that, maybe that helps clarify. Hope you guys are doing well out there, and I'll talk to you soon.